Hey guys, I'm Jax and this is my review for HotD. Now I don't have to explain what that means, but just to clarify so there's no confusion, I of course mean this is my review for this hot drumstick. One hot drumstick, meat of chicken, coated in some kind of batter or something, spiced with some kind of spice, I'm not sure. It was called Swicy. I don't know what that means when I bought it, but I'm like, I'll have the Swicy one. So how does this delicious hot drumstick stack up? Ooh, that is one tasty hot drumstick. But in terms of hot on the spicy spectrum, essentially not spicy at all. And I am not like a spicy guy. But just for taste, that's a 4. That is delicious. So I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. So this episode of HotD kicks off in classic Game of Thrones fashion after an episode in which something truly horrific happens at the end of it. And that is by the next episode mostly being centered around every single character in the show just kind of taking a deep breath and just going, oh geez, okay, that was crazy. That was a horrifying, horrible event, and everyone just kind of takes a deep breath and just deals with it. And for the most part, very entertaining, very interesting. I really like how this season is really focusing on Aegon now that he's king. He's really become like a fully fleshed out character, and I find him one of the most engaging to watch at this point. I absolutely love the moment where Aegon is screaming, "I am the king!" and just throwing a massive tantrum, and I couldn't help but hear the classic, iconic, just truly wonderful words of Tywin. A king who must say that he is the king is no king at all. And whilst this is all going on with Aegon in the war council room, the hand of the king, Otto Hightower, is already just like being really cold and calculated, and he feels like he's just this soulless politician kind of guy behind the throne. And I really liked how he's just like, all right, so this is awful and sucks. Obviously, like, I don't have to say that, obviously, but like, we can use it to our advantage. And he's just so cold, so chilling, so manipulative, and he's just like, all right, so this is actually going to work for us. That kid's going to do more for us like dead than he ever would have done alive. Let's parade him around. Let's use this grief and let's use the mourning of all the women here, and let's show the body and show people that the person who's opposing us sucks and kills babies. And it's just the way he's just so cold and calculated, like he almost had that like in the back of his mind, like he's been doing brainstorming meetings where it's like, okay, well, if they kill this guy, we can use it like this, and if they kill this guy, and if one of the babies happened to fall down, we could say that Rhaenyra's, whatever, Budget Daenerys, we can say that Budget Daenerys beat the baby over the head with a rock. And I really like this. This is classic Game of Thrones. I love the political minutiae of just everyone being the worst people ever. Everyone sucks and everyone's out to gain something from each other, and how they use all these awful, horrible situations to further their own kind of succession. It's all juicy stuff. Not as juicy as that hot drumstick I just had, but regardless, still pretty juicy. It just feels like that's pure classical old school Game of Thrones, just like a guy who's constantly playing the game, using people's grief and his daughter's mourning just for like this tool in the machinations of war. I loved it. It was really good stuff. Honestly, all of the best stuff this episode I feel like was with Otto and Aegon. I love how while Aegon's having a tantrum, and rightly so, it was his son, but he's just like not level-headed, and Otto is just so cold, so calculated. And then that leads us later in the episode to my favorite scene where he fires Otto for essentially speaking out against him doing something insanely dumb. Otto has just been so quick and so cold to kind of manipulate the horrible situation to benefit Aegon, and then Aegon immediately hangs all of the rat catchers, turning the public and probably all the other houses' views against him so quickly. But he's not seeing the bigger picture, which Otto does, and Otto's like, you're an idiot. You're such an idiot. I did this clever plan. We stitched the baby's head back onto itself and let all the people see it. Also, side note, when you see the baby and you see the stitching, at first it's like, oh, that is... I can't believe they showed that. That's crazy. And then, because I'm a psychopath and I feel like I've been desensitized to everything, I noticed like how clean the cut was for that baby. That is like a clean cut. I don't know what those guys did. You could hear the hacking, and it didn't seem like it was going to be such a precision, clean cut. I don't know. It's just masterful surgeon work for that era. I'm just impressed. Just to be clear, I'm not condoning that they cut the baby's head off. I'm just saying that's a clean cut and, like from a surgical perspective, I'm impressed. And so Aegon, having destroyed any goodwill to the public and the other houses that Otto carefully manipulated, Otto then finds out that Aegon, in what I have to say is maybe the funniest, most unintentionally kind of comedic thing he's ever done, he decides to do like a bit of a Parent Trap twin comedy of errors, screwball comedy kind of plot in being like, hey, you've got a twin that's the enemy. Pretend to be him and kill the queen. Hot garbage nonsense, and I found it very amusing. But I guess it's also like kind of clever, but I also feel like it's just so destined to fail. Like when last week, they're like, you two random characters, kill Aemond, a clear main character. And I'm like, they're just not going to succeed in that, so who else are they going to kill? This felt the same, where it's like, you random twin 2, you twin 2, pretend to be twin 1, and kill the main character of the show. And it's like, that twin 2 is never been more dead. No man has ever been more dead in a show than when the ageless Sir Kristen Cole was like, go do this fun screwball comedy hijinks, Parent Trap style. So Aegon fires the hands and Otto is like, oh, I'm sorry, you'll regret this. And he goes off to somewhere else to meet some other characters or whatever. So Aegon goes full idiot king and not only fires Otto, but he doesn't replace him with someone who might be might be a good hand maybe someday. He's like, how about I give it to that ageless idiot Kristen Cole? And he just gives it to Kristen Cole, and Cole's face was like, what? Me? Even he knows it's a terrible idea, and I like that. It's very fun. I just love, in a Game of Thrones-esque world, a HotD universe, that the kings are just some guy. He's clearly not like ready for this job. He's clearly not capable. He has no idea what he's doing. He's just flailing and running about. Add on a dead son, and it's just madness. It's just madness. So let's cut over to Team Black. I love how Budget Daenerys is just like, what? They think I cut the baby's head off? Why would I do this? And this whole time, in the whole War Council, we keep cutting to everybody else, and they're all like, oh, I mean, you were pretty distressed. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe you like said it, like, and you didn't mean to say it, and like, you just like yelled at someone like, kill them all, and then someone went and like tried to kill them all, or something. Like, maybe you didn't even mean to say it, but you like suggested to someone. And as this whole scene's playing out, it just cuts to Matt Smith, Daemon Targaryen, and he's got the cheekiest grin on his face. He's got this cheeky whoopsie face. It's like if you're at a family dinner and there's like a cake or something, and you all get one piece, you're all eating one piece, and then there's one final last piece of the cake. And everyone's eating, and then suddenly everyone looks up for the last piece, and it's gone. And then you cut over to Daemon, and he's eating the cake. He's got this cheeky, whoopsie, I ate the last piece. It's that kind of cheeky grin. It's so inappropriate. I couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes. Very, very funny stuff. He's a psychopath, and he loved that this happened. He doesn't give a crap. And then, kind of shockingly, Budget Daenerys is like, Matt Smith, get out of here. You're not even my favorite doctor. I liked Christopher Eccleston. And then Matt Smith's like, whoa, Eccleston, that's just being mean. You could have picked 2 of the other 4 or 5 doctors, or however many there are, and I would have been like, there's a fair argument for one of those 2 to be better than me. But Eccleston, what are you talking about? Now you're just being mean. So they break up, and Daemon flies off in his spaghetti noodle dragon. God, I love that design. He's like a big long spaghetti dipped in bolognese, all red and noodly. I love it. It's a good design. And so the big climax action set piece of this week is Twin 1 impersonates Twin 2, or Twin 2 impersonates Twin 1. What's the difference between them? One of them was like, I don't like this horrible family, and I will join sides with this other, equally but for different reasons, horrible family. And then the other one was like, no, I'm going to stay with this horrible family because the other, equally horrible but for different reasons, family is horrible. But I'm already here, like I don't want to have to travel and catch a boat, so I'm staying here. That's like all I know about them. All I know is that they are twins. And I feel like if you had a show where you knew the climax of the 2nd episode of the season was going to be a twin fight, like twin versus twin, who will win? who cares? I don't understand why I should care. Like, which one's good? Which one's bad? I guess it's just whichever team you've decided to be on. You're on either Team Twin 2 or Team Twin 1 side. I don't know anything about their personalities. I don't know anything about them. And yes, you could argue, well, actually, there's like character reasons why one chose the other side. Yeah, but they haven't fleshed them out. They've both chosen their sides, and yet I just don't know anything about them. I just feel like with a show like this that has so many great moments of characters sitting down and just talking for like 5 minutes, I just feel like there should have been a couple of scenes each before this, like maybe 1 or 2 in the first episode with one of the characters, and then this week we follow like the other character and we actually get some scenes with them to give me any feeling one way or the other. Like, I don't know, it's the same as the kid dying last week, but even that kid who had no screen time got a 2-minute scene where he was being cute with a little pebble pearl thing, and I'm like, oh, it's fun and cute, and I still remember it. These two guys, I mean, I don't know, it just feels like a wasted opportunity. And if you were wondering, is it 2 twins or one guy that they've CGI'd twice using technology or whatever? Surely, almost 100... No, sorry. I can guarantee that this is just one guy they've CGI'd twice. Because the fight is staged like it's one guy. Like, it's well done. It's a good fight. But it just kind of makes me wonder, you don't want to just find twins? Like, you know they exist in real life. You can cast twins. And then you could have a fight where it's like wide shots and it's like... And you'd have this trippy moment of like, oh my god, it's the same guy fighting each other. But it's not. Twins. You don't have to cast one actor. And if it's 2 guys, why just stage it like it's one? And you're trying to hide the other actor. And I don't know. It's just... I just feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities. Not to mention that the entire idea of this guy pretending to be his twin and sneaking into the castle, like he arrives, they're like, I thought you were inside. He's like, nah, man, I wasn't inside. I'm outside. Guys, you know there's a twin. You know there's a twin. This could happen. You guys didn't like think that maybe they'll do this? Why would you? It's insane. It's ridiculous. It's the plot of a screwball comedy of errors, nonsense, idiot, family-friendly movie. Like The Parent Trap. It's The Parent Trap. But probably in literally no way except there are twins involved like The Parent Trap. I haven't seen The Parent Trap in a while. But all I kept thinking was, wow, this is like Game of Thrones Parent Trap. But they didn't do any of the fun things with the twins. Like, do you remember that time in Prometheus or Covenant or whichever alien movie? And there's like 2 Davids. You get 2 Davids for the price of one. And he's like, let me do the fingering on the flute and stuff. Out of context, if you haven't seen that movie, that is actually not as weird as it is in the movie. But there's 2 twins, and they have a fight, and then it cuts away, and then it cuts back. It's like, oh, I wonder which twin it is. Clearly the one we don't think it is, because he's like secretly pretending to be the other twin. And like, there's no fun in what they do in this show. They like have one line with a guy who comes in who doesn't wear armor, and yet somehow didn't get killed in the crossfire, which felt weird. He was like, which twin is it? Which one's which? But like, he just said that. They didn't like do anything with that, because like the fight ends and one of them kills the other. Twin 2 kills Twin 1, or maybe Twin 1 kills Twin 2. Who knows? In a lot of ways, who cares? So the twins have a fight to the death, and one of the twins falls, and I think what would have been far more satisfying than the other twin, I don't even know, was he Budget Daenerys' twin, or was he the other twin? I think it was Budget Daenerys' one, where he's like, I'm sorry, my brother betrayed you, and he kills himself. It just feels like that's not interesting. I think what would have been so much better is if he comes to his knees, he's like, sorry about my brother, Budget Daenerys. I am Twin 2 or Twin 1. Whichever is your twin, I'm that twin. And, you know, it is him. But she's like, oh, there was a moment where you guys spun around for a bit and I like got kind of confused. Like those guys on the streets who put like a pebble in a box and they move the boxers around and you're like, oh, which... was the pebble under that one or that one? But he's moved it about too many times and you just lost focus. It's like that, but for twins. And so she just goes, I can't trust that you're the right twin, because what if you're the wrong twin and then you kill me? And so then she gets the guy to kill him. I think that would be deeply satisfying and kind of shocking and horrible. And of course we would know it was the right twin, 2 or 1 or whichever, who cares? But it just like feels like, I don't know. It all just feels like there's kind of more interesting things to be done here with this moment and these 2 characters. And I feel like I'm going to forget they ever existed pretty quickly. And it wasn't shocking that both twins died, because I just didn't care. I don't know. It's a great show. I love this show. I just feel like it keeps reminding me just continuously again and again. Like, it's a good show. It's no Game of Thrones.